Broadcasting live from station WDWL TV, Studio A, located on Grumpy Vulture Boulevard, and Grumpy Studios, in case you ever want to visit, are located on Grumpy Old Man Road. And we are a division of Grumpy Vulture Productions. Take a bow. There you go. Now, look at the camera. There. Oh. So, today, we're going to talk about childhood cliches. All the shit we used to hear when we were kids. Where our parents came up with this crap, I'll never know. You know, especially the one about clean underwear. Every time I go to leave the house, my mother, you got clean underwear on? You better. You get hit by a train. Don't embarrass me with dirty underwear. Well, Mom, unfortunately, if I get hit by a train and I hear that, and I turn around and that train is like 3 feet away from me, my underwear is going to be dirty because I'm going to shit myself just before the train hits me. And you know, talking to people my age, from my generation, it seems like it was like, you know, from one ocean to the next, right across the United States. In the 50s, every parent was worried about dirty underwear. Now, maybe not all 50 states, but I have, you know, friends that got relatives in Texas. I got friends that got relatives in Idaho. I've got friends up in Rhode Island. I got friends in Massachusetts. They all say the same thing. Their parents with the, you better have clean underwear on, you know, don't embarrass me. You know, you might have 50 broken bones, you're on life support in ICU. The first question out of your parents' mouth, when he came in here, did he have clean underwear on? And the nurse would be like, well, the front was clean. The front was clean, but we can't say much for the back. What do you mean? Well, unfortunately, he shit himself. Oh, my God, he had dirty underwear when he came in. Oh, I'm going to kill him. The train almost did that. You know, just leave him alone. You want to kill him? Wait until he heals up. Yeah. The underwear. And then, you know, like down south, they always were like, oh, bless her heart. You know, bless her heart. Didn't hear too much of that up north here. But yeah, bless her heart. Was her heart bad? Did it need to be blessed? A little voodoo curse or something? Yeah, bless her heart. And then, one I will never understand. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Does that mean if you had an 11-foot pole, you'd touch it? What was the thing with a 10-foot pole? I used to hear that a lot. Oh, stay away from that car. I wouldn't touch that car with a 10-foot pole. Oh, what if I go get you an 11 or a 9? It was always a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I always wanted to ask, what if I brought you a 9? I found my fancy solid glass butane lighter. Yeah, solid glass. I'm going to get off subject for just a minute, okay? Now, this probably weighs at least 4 pounds. This is solid glass, blue glass, okay? Here's the ashtray that goes with it. This solid glass ashtray probably weighs 8 pounds. This son of a bitch is heavy. Hear that? Solid glass. Believe it or not, back in the day, when I smoked Parliament cigarettes, if you saved enough of the UPC codes off of the cigarette packs, you got gifts like this, just for UPC codes. Solid glass. This stuff is not cheap. They'd give it away. I think it was like 100 piece UPC codes. And the neat thing was, there were 2 guys that work with me. We all smoked Parliaments. So they would all save me their UPC codes because they weren't interested in the gifts. Unbelievable. Of course, the ashtray dirty. I've been using it, but I mean, solid glass. I will show you the martini glass set. Now, martinis were big, back in the 30s, 40s, 50s. I got a pitcher, a glass pitcher, with a... Now, Parliament was blue and white, so everything of theirs was blue. A large glass stirrer for the pitcher, and really fancy martini glasses with blue glass stems. Oh my God. I think it was like 210, 220 UPCs. Yeah. Oh, the cigarette companies used to give away all kinds of neat shit. Not today. You're paying 3 to 4 times for a pack of cigarettes, which you did back in the day, and they don't give you crap. But all Parliament, classy. As a matter of fact, every time I got the gift catalog, I would pick something. Like, I had the ashtray and the lighter, and then the martini glasses. I had I got a big Parliament golf umbrella, picnic kit. I don't know where that went. Got lost when I was moving. A picnic kit. I mean, it had everything. Silverware, plates. Of course, a blue tablecloth to lay, on the table, because Parliament was blue and white. All the neat shit. Not now. The government got into it. Oh, can't be giving that stuff away. Man, back in the day, like, when Winston was sponsoring NASCAR, oh my God, the Winston stuff was everywhere. I got a Winston Racing t-shirt I'll have to show you. But I mean, they gave all kinds of shit away. Then the government said, cigarette companies can't be sponsoring, public events and TV shows. And then all the cigarette ads disappeared off of TV. And they were neat. I used to like the dancing Chesterfield pack. All you saw was the girl's legs, and she was a pack of cigarettes dancing on the stage. Chesterfield. And then, Marlboro was always out west. It was, a cowboy cigarette. Yeah. He had this rough and tumble cowboy like he just came off a cattle drive, enjoying his Marlboro cigarette. Go back. Go on YouTube and look up 1950s cigarette commercials. Even the car commercials were cool. But we're getting away from the cliches. Another one was, don't bother that person. They already got 1 foot in the grave. Everybody had 1 foot in the grave. If you were old, you had 1 foot in the grave. Funny thing was, if I drive past the cemetery, I never saw any empty graves and people hanging 1 foot in them. But that was him. Leave Mr. Johnson alone. He's old. He's got 1 foot in the grave. I'd be looking at him going, he's sitting on his front porch in a rocking chair. He's got both feet. I don't see it in the grave. Just take my word for it. Yeah, 1 foot in the grave. And then what my grandfather always used to say, oh, God. He'd be looking at something. Anything. A car, a bicycle, maybe something he was thinking of buying. And he'd go, that ain't worth shit in a handbasket. Shit in a handbasket? What the hell would you want a handbasket full of shit for? But yeah, that ain't worth shit in a handbasket. Okay, I won't buy it. Yeah, it ain't worth shit in a handbasket. Okay. I still, to this day, can't figure out what the hell that's supposed to mean. It ain't worth shit in a handbasket. And then another one. I never heard it. My neighbor said, her mother used to say it a lot. No rain, no rainbows. No rain, no rainbows. Well, evidently, it must have been a cliche for a rainy day. The kids are in the house, they're like, oh, it's raining outside, damn it. Well, no rain, no rainbow. Okay. It does kind of make sense, but I never heard it. And they live 2 houses away. I don't know why I never heard it. And of course, the big one, don't talk to strangers. Okay. What if I need directions? Don't talk to a stranger. Well, if I find somebody I know, I'll know where I'm going. But maybe I might need directions, and this person might know. Don't talk to strangers. I never did. I do today, though, because I'm old and crabby and people are afraid of me. Matter of fact, a lot of times I'll talk to people and they'll be like, don't hit me, please. I'm not going to hit you. I wanted directions. I don't know where you're going. I didn't even ask yet. I don't know. Get away from me. Okay. And then, another one. They always talked about people's luck. And the saying would be, oh my God, that guy fell in shit and came out smelling like a rose. Well, I'll tell you what, over the years, I've seen a lot of shit. I've stepped in a lot of shit. It don't smell like roses. But yeah, they'd say, oh, he fell in shit and came out smelling like a rose. Still haven't figured it out. The other day, I was walking out front, walking on my tree lawn. I stepped in dog shit. It did not smell like roses. No. It smelled like decomp. Ruined a good pair of shoes. Didn't smell like roses. Come on. If anybody thinks up a cliche that they heard, put it on my face plant, because I want to do another cliche show, because I know there's hundreds more. These were the ones I was used to hearing. But anything that your parents used to say, like changing your underwear. Don't leave the house with dirty underwear. You'll embarrass me. A 50-ton gravel truck comes rolling down a hill with no brakes. You get to the hospital, the first question out of your mother's mouth. Nurse, when he came in, did he have clean underwear? I really didn't look. You want me to go check? We've got it in a bag. Yeah, I want to know. Because if he embarrassed me, I'm going to go kick his ass. Then the nurse would look. It was clean. I was lucky. Yeah. You better have clean underwear. Otherwise, you're in trouble. Parents weren't worried about injuries. All they were worried about was if your underwear was clean. It didn't make any sense. Underwear can be replaced. Body parts are a little tougher. But that's all they were worried about. If you embarrass me, oh, you're going to be in trouble. I got several pairs of underwear. I got them in my pockets. In case something happens, I can change again. Don't worry, I won't embarrass you. I can guarantee I would embarrass her. Because if a semi was rolling down the hill with no brakes, laying on the air horn, and I couldn't get out of the way, there was going to be dirty underwear because I shit myself before I got hit. And then, I hate this cheap floor pad. My wheels keep rolling in the rut. Yeah. Don't you ever embarrass me by wearing dirty underwear. And, they would never ask you, like, if you were going out, where you were going. You might be leaving town, and they don't know about it, but they don't care. The only thing they were worried about was your underwear. Mom, I'm leaving. Come on, get back here. Yeah, what? You got clean underwear on? Uh-huh. Are you sure? Uh-huh. They didn't know that you were going to Mexico. They didn't care. Just as long as your underwear was clean. One day, I wanted to really toy with my mother. I wanted to stick some Limburger cheese in my underwear. And then I'm leaving the house. She go, hey, you don't have clean underwear on. Yes, I do. Oh, I can smell it. You don't have clean underwear on. No, I'm hiding some Limburger cheese for a friend. Oh, yeah, the old underwear. And you don't hear them anymore. God, you used to, daily, you would hear these cliches. Not anymore. I know my grandfather, the 10-foot pole one was his favorite. Oh, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I always wanted to ask him, oh, what about an 11 or 12? Would you touch it then? No? How about a 9? Maybe? Okay. So you'd touch it with a 9, but you wouldn't touch it with a 10. What was the thing with a 10-foot pole? I wish I could have got, answers. Because basically by the time I grew up, everybody that I could have asked was gone, But yeah, my grandfather, that guy selling that car across the street. I wouldn't touch that car with a 10-foot pole. Okay. Could never figure out the 10-foot pole thing, though. Yeah. Oh, you see that wagon for sale? Uh-huh. It ain't worth shit in a handbasket. I wish I would have asked. Then how much is shit in a handbasket worth, Gramps? $3.98, $4.98. You telling me that wagon ain't worth shit in a handbasket? Well, how much is shit in a handbasket worth? Another one he used to say. If he'd get pissed off at somebody, and he didn't get pissed off often. He was pretty even-tempered. He'd tell somebody, hey, go shit in your hat and wear it. Okay. Yeah. He'd tell somebody, hey, go shit in your hat and wear it. If he said that, I knew he was pissed off. Because that was about the strongest language he used. I remember him arguing with a guy one day at the West Side Market. And the ending line, go shit in your hat and wear it. I always wondered if the guy did. I was waiting for him to come back with a hat on. And I had asked him, hey, you got shit in that hat? You don't hear it today. Matter of fact, every now and then I use one of the, I'll tell somebody one of them cliches. And they just kind of look at you like, huh? You ain't making no sense. Well, back in the 50's it made sense. I said one day, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. And the guy just looked at me. And as he was walking away, he was looking at me. Then he ran into somebody because he was looking at me. But yeah, he gave me that look like, huh? I enjoyed saying it, though. Trying to think some of the other ones. I need to write them down. Oh, he always would say, it was about saving money. If you watch the pennies, the dollars will watch themselves. Okay. I guess it was about saving money. Like if you had 100 pennies, you'd have $1, But yeah, that was one of his favorites. And another one, I just thought of it. It just come to me. Maybe the longer I talk, more of them will come to me. He would open a door for a lady. Back then, Men wore fedoras. They'd tip their hat at a woman. They'd hold doors open. And a woman would thank him. And he would say, well, always the rose before the thorn. It kind of makes sense. But yeah, I'd hear him say that. He'd hold the door, a woman would thank him, and he'd say, oh, always the rose before the thorn. I've had a lot of rose bushes over the years. The thorns grow first, then the rose. So, whatever. It's one of them old cliches that you'll never get explained. But yeah, that was his favorite. He had a lot of favorites. I wish I would have had a tape recorder or, because he was just loaded with cliches back in the day when I was growing up. But I was too young to, think, oh, I should save that. I should write that down. Thinking that maybe those cliches would be around for years. But they disappeared. It seemed like once I got out of high school, I don't know why, the cliches I know when I got out of high school, my mother kept asking about my underwear. I guess she didn't care if it was dirty. Only when I was in school. Yeah, once I graduated high school and got a job, she never asked me if I had clean underwear on going to work. But when I was in school, you got clean underwear on? Don't embarrass me. I guess once I graduated school, I could embarrass the fuck out of her. But that seems to be when it stopped. So, if any of you can remember any cliches from your childhood, put them in my face plant. Because I'd like to do another stream with cliches and tell people how weird it was back in my day growing up. Same thing. You don't really hear much about kids eating Limburger cheese today. Back growing up, a lot of us, not today. You don't even see it. The other day when I was at the store, I was looking, they got a big sign. We have cheese from all around the world. I'm looking. I didn't see any Limburger at all. Now they got that crappy shit in a jar. Moose head or something, it's got a moose on it. I don't know what a moose has to do with Limburger cheese. Maybe they smell the same. But Limburger cheese in a jar, that ain't the real, authentic old world stuff. You got to get the real thing. I think maybe because it smells so bad, they don't want it stinking up the rest of the, the cheeses or the meat case or the store. I guess I would have to go down to the West Side Market, to the cheese stand, if it's still there. I haven't been to West Side Market in like 35 years. Cheese stand might not even be there. Because I don't seem to think there's a big demand for Limburger nowadays. I've never seen any Limburger fondue. You know, I've seen Swiss cheese fondue and cheddar cheese fondue. I've never seen anybody do Limburger fondue. Maybe I should start a trend. Invite people over for Limburger fondue. Go out and buy a fondue pot. Go buy some fresh Limburger cheese. Melt it down. And then somebody will call the coroner and say, hey, there's this nasty odor coming from the grumpy old man's house. I think there's a dead body in there. And then the police would show up. And they'd be like, yeah, smells like decomp. And they'd knock on the door. I'd open the door. Can we come in? We think there's a dead body in the house. No, I'm having Limburger fondue. Would you like to try some? We'll pass. Call it in, Frank. Tell them it's just cheese. They ain't going to believe that odor. Oh, yeah. Then you get a whiff of the Limburger fondue and go, oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll call it in. It's just cheese. Nasty cheese. And the two cops would be standing there going, you really eat that shit? Grew up on it. Started eating it when I was like 6 years old. Me and Grandpa on a Saturday. That was our special lunch. I could see the one cop going, oh man, his grandfather tortured him. No, it was good. I've got to get some, but not in that jar. That's not the real thing. One day I'm going to write the company. I'm going to find out who makes it. Ask them, why do you have a moose head on the jar of Limburger cheese? And you could tell that Limburger isn't too popular because the jar's only about this big. If you go in the store, the jar is about the size of this lighter. Can't get too many sandwiches out of that little jar. But that's not the real thing. Real Limburger isn't processed. That's what that is. Processed. If you're going to get Limburger, get the real thing. You know, you can smell it from like 5 blocks away. Like when you walk into the West Side Market, you used to be able to smell the Limburger. Your nose guided you back to the cheese stand. But every Saturday, Grandpa'd get a chunk about yay big. We'd be walking up, and him and the cheese lady were friends. She'd ask him, how much, Joe? Oh, about that. She'd pull that Limburger out, whack, wrap it up. Here you go. Enjoy your Limburger. I will. See, he lived down there. He lived just a couple of blocks, and he always shopped at the West Side Market. He'd even go on days that he wasn't going to shop, just to go chat with people. He liked to socialize. So everybody knew him. And it was great, because when he would take me to the market, I'd get all kinds of freebies. The clerks would go, who's that with you, Joe? Oh, that's my grandson. Because, see, I was the firstborn, and I was the only boy. So I got spoiled. Oh, Grandpa spoiled the fuck out of me. But we go to the West Side Market. Who's that, Joe? It's my grandson. Oh, really? Here, give him these pepperoni sticks. There'd be a handful, 5, 6 pepperonis, Smokies. Here, those are for him. Then we go to another stand. I'm trying to think which one was really generous. Oh, if we went to the jelly stand, the girls asked me, what are your favorites? Well, I like grape. I said favorites. Oh, well, I like grape. I like cherry. I like raspberry. And at that time, they didn't have it in jars. They had like those containers you get from the Chinese takeout. And they'd have big pans of jelly. She'd be scooping it into a container. Here's your cherry. Here's your raspberry. Here you go. I'd come out of there with about 400 pounds of jelly. And when we went to the bread stand, it was really neat because Grandpa'd get that big monster round rye. And then they always had little ones. Here's one for your grandson to take home. And I'd have this little round rye bread. It was about the size of a cupcake. Yeah. Here, give that to your grandson. I came out of there with bags of shit. Oh, my word. Because, see, they liked Grandpa. So, that paid off for me. I always used to say to Grandpa, hey, can we make another swing around the smoky stand? I can get some more. And we would. He'd walk up and he'd say, hey, Frank, can my grandson have some more Smokies? Oh, sure. Here, another handful. Have a nice day. Don't eat them all at once. Okay, thank you. Yeah, see, times were different back then. People were friendlier. They were more generous. Yeah, if I asked Grandpa if we could make another swing for some more, because he knew I liked Smokies. He'd go, yeah, come on. Hey, Frank. Yeah, Joe? Can my grandson have some more Smokies? Oh, sure. Here. I'd get another handful. And then, I'm like 8, 9 years old. Thank you. You're a good boy. Your grandpa talks about you all the time. Enjoy your Smokies. If you want more, come back. I didn't want to push it. 2 handfuls. It worked. I had Smokies for the week. But I bet if I come back a third time, he'd go, you back again? Uh-huh. You want some more Smokies? Uh-huh. Here you go. Don't tell your grandma. It was always, don't tell your grandma. Because she thought it was like, we were like heathens getting free food. Oh, you heathens. First you get free food, and then you have the nerve to eat on my table off of butcher paper. Yeah. What's your point? You're heathens. That was her favorite thing. Yeah, we were heathen. Grandpa and I were 2 heathens. Eating our smoked fish. Yes, smoked whitefish. We wouldn't have no plates or forks. We just would tear it off, eat with our fingers. Ah, you heathens. Then Grandma'd hand us full towels. Make sure you wipe your hands. Don't wipe it on my tablecloth either. It's a clean one. Well, that's why we got 5 layers of butcher paper. Well, you could use a plate. Why? We got butcher paper. Her and Grandpa used to go back and forth at it. But see, when I was there, I could get away with murder. Especially on Sunday. Oh, yeah. You know, I looked forward to Saturday lunch, but I even looked more forward to Sunday morning. Because when Grandma went to church, Grandpa'd be watching out the window. As soon as she made the corner, we knew she wasn't going to turn and come back. He'd be looking. Okay, she turned the corner. Get the cups. I'd go to the cupboard and get the cups. And Grandpa and I drank coffee. Oh, yeah. I looked forward to coffee because I wasn't allowed to drink it. I wasn't even allowed to smell it when I was at home. I'd walk by the coffee pot. Get away from that. The vapors will stunt your growth. Yeah, another cliche. Everything was going to stunt your growth. Get away from that coffee pot. I almost slipped one day. I almost said, well, Grandpa what? Well, Grandpa shoos me away from the coffee pot, too. I should know better. I was like, whew, save myself on that one. Because if they'd have found out Grandpa was giving me coffee, oh, man, there'd have been fucking hell to pay. But we never divulged the secret. Even when I was, 19, 20 years old, never divulged the secret. You never wanted to get Grandpa in trouble. Because Grandma, you gave him coffee when he was 8 years old? I'll kick your ass. And Grandma would. She kind of ruled the roost. Grandpa was easy going. Grandma made everybody toe the line. Mainly because she carried the checkbook. Grandpa didn't want to piss her off. She was in charge of the money. So, we kept the coffee a secret. Always had to make sure the cups were turned. Because she always had them cups with the big thumb loop. You had to make sure that they were turned. Because if she came home and she saw 2 cups and they were turned the wrong way, there'd have been fucking hell to pay. She'd have been, hey, how come I had these cups? Who was messing with these cups? So we always made sure. There we go. Cups are turned. Because I think she suspected things. But she could never put her finger on it. Because after she'd change out of her Sunday best, she'd go look at that cupboard. Well, the cups are straight. I think they're messing with me, but I can't prove it. And see, back in those days, they didn't have security cameras. Because I guarantee, today, Grandma would have had security cameras everywhere in that house. We couldn't have got away with shit. But we got away with it back then. Oh, yeah. Fun times. That's why I had to get my pogachas. Because it reminded me of Grandma. Baked pogachas. Friday she would bake. Because Saturday morning Grandpa would pick me up. And then we had pogachas with our heathen feast. So, that's why I had to get some. Sometimes I'd like to go back to my childhood. Not the days I was getting my ass kicked, but those good times. Like eating pepperoni and smoked whitefish and Limburger cheese. And then drinking coffee. Those were the good times. Although with Grandpa was always a good time. He could make a ride around the block a good time. I just liked being with him. We'd go fishing. We'd go to the amusement park. We'd go to the fair. He was like a little kid at the fair. He loved the fair. He'd say to me, hey, come on, let's go see the animals. Okay, we'd go see the animals. Are you hungry? Yeah. Then we'd go get like a bratwurst with sauerkraut. Then we'd walk around, look at some more animals, look at the tractors, you know. Are you hungry? Yeah. All right, let's go get a hamburger. Okay. Get a hamburger, French fries. We'd walk around a little more, look at some more animals, look at some more things, maybe go on an amusement ride. Are you hungry? Yeah. All right, let's go get some hot dogs. And then after we ate our way across the fair, we'd go to the freak show. Grandpa loved the freak show. Like the alligator skin girl. Or the guy with two faces, you know. Those were the fun times. Then I had to grow up. Sucked. But I remember the good times. Especially with Grandpa. Oh, yeah. I got spoiled. I got away with murder. And I got all kinds of goodies when we go to the market. Every stand we'd walk up to. Hey, Joe, is that your grandson? Yeah. Does he want a steak? Yeah. Here's a steak. A nice 2-pound porterhouse for the kid. Steak weighed more than I did. Here you go. Every stand we go to, we got something for free. Especially the smoky stand. Oh. And he wasn't cheap with a handful. Oh, he'd reach down in them smokies. Here you go. Then we'd go back. You want some more? Please? Sure, you're Joe's grandson. Here you go. Even if I wandered off by myself, all I'd have to do, walk up to a stand and go, hi, I'm Joe's grandson. Oh, here's a bunch of free shit. Have a nice day. Tell your grandfather I gave it to you. Tell him I said hi. Okay, will do. Then I'd come back with a bag full of stuff. My grandpa, where'd you get that? Well, I was wandering around and I just would tell people I'm your grandson and they'd hand me stuff. Okay. Don't get greedy. I'm only greedy at the smoky stand, Grandpa. All right, one stand you can be greedy at. Don't ruin it. But every Saturday, oh yeah, I got the free shit. Sometime before they would ask, I would speak up. I'm Joe's grandson. Oh, here you go. Here, have a torte cake. Here's 5 pounds of butter. Tell your grandfather I said hi. Okay. Then I go back. Grandpa, the lady at the butter stand that gave me this 5-pound block of butter said to tell you hi. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what it was with him and everybody at the market, but oh shit, did I get freebies. I was kind of disappointed, after like 20 years going to the market. None of this, I didn't recognize any of the stands. I wanted to see if I could get some freebies. Walk up and go, hey, remember me? I'm Joe's grandson. No. Okay. I guess no freebies here. I'll mark you off my list. Yeah, it was good times. Great memories. That's why the Pogachs really, they kind of hit home. Because it not only makes me think of Grandma baking them, it reminds me of them trips to the market and all the free shit I got for being Joe's grandson. Yeah, that's all I had to do. I'm Joe's grandson. Oh, really? Hey, Susie, Fred, John, come here. You know who's standing out here? No. Joe's grandson. Oh, wait a minute. We got a side of beef for him. They'd wheel out that whole side of beef. Can you carry this? No. We'll take it to the car. Show us where Grandpa's car is. And then after they load that side of beef in the car, they tell Grandpa we said hi. Okay. Now you go up to Grandpa. Hey, Grandpa. Fred and Susie and John and Tom said hi. Oh, really? All of them? Well, yeah, it took all of them to load that side of beef in the trunk of your car. Side of beef? Yeah, I just told them I was your grandson. They gave me that whole side of beef. Well, we might have to give it back. That's a lot of meat. Oh, Grandpa, but they gave it to me. And they carried it out and put it in your car. Okay, we'll keep it. That's the way it was. That whole side of beef in the trunk of a Nash Rambler. Two-tone green. Had a light green top and a dark green bottom. And it was a stick shift. With overdrive. I remembered that today. Overdrive. Grandpa put it in overdrive. It never seemed to change anything for me. I just, okay. It's in overdrive? I thought it was really going to do something. Well, it saves on gas. Oh, okay. Yeah. A Nash Rambler. 3 on the tree with overdrive. Two-tone green. And then it got stolen. Yeah. He called me one, it was like a Thursday afternoon. He's like, oh, I got some bad news. What's that? I might not be able to pick you up Saturday. Oh, Grandpa, what's wrong? Someone stole the Rambler. Oh, no. Okay. Then he called me Friday afternoon. I bought a new car. I'll be there at 8 o'clock Saturday morning. Oh, boy. And he bought a Rambler Ambassador. Yeah. He liked his Ramblers. He had the Nash Rambler. And then he had the Ambassador. That was a cool car. It had all kinds of toys on it. Oh, my God. It had every accessory in the world on it. Had a tissue dispenser in the glove box. It even had little cups in the glove box. I don't know what you use them for, but it had little cups. You'd open the glove box, and there was little indentations to put the cups. I think it was for like booze. But yeah, had 4 fancy cups in the glove box. And it was kind of neat. It had seats that reclined all the way back, like a bed. You could sleep in that car. Yeah, you pull the lever on the side and the seat would go all the way back. You could sleep. I always wanted to take a trip. Tell Grandpa, take a trip so I can sleep in the seat. We never did. But you could. If you wanted to, you could sleep in that car. Folding seats. Then he traded the Nash Rambler in on a 64 Mustang. Yeah. I wish I had that car today. It was a strippy, though. It didn't even have a radio. 3-speed transmission, was gold. I remember it. 64 gold Mustang with a straight 6 and a stick shift. Everybody was like, "Oh, Joe, you got a Mustang." Yeah, to him it was just a car. You know, what about it? It's a Mustang. Yeah, I know, I bought it at Ford. Yeah, Joe, but it's a Mustang. He could never figure out the big deal. What's the big deal? It's a car. But everybody would be like, "Oh," and especially like at the market, you'd hear people, "Joe bought a Mustang." He'd be like, "So what?" "But it's a Mustang, Joe. First year, they just came out with it. And you got a Mustang." "Yeah. I needed a car." It was gold. My wife liked the color, so we bought it. That's the way they bought cars. If Grandma liked the color, they bought it. At that point in time, they didn't know if it was an automatic, stick, V8. Nope. They went in the dealership. They walked around. Grandma elbowed Grandpa. "I like this gold one." Okay. Salesman would come up. "Want to take it for a test drive?" "No. Just tell us what the price is." "Well, don't you want to know anything about the car?" "No." "She's writing a check. Tell her what the price is." The salesman told her the price. She wrote a check. They drove out of the dealership. That was it. Grandma liked the gold. That's the way they bought cars. It had to have Grandma's stamp of approval. And he told everybody, too. Yeah, we walked around the dealership. Grandma went, "I like that gold one." And we bought it. That was it. No big fanfare. It was a 64 Mustang. It was the first year for the Mustangs. That didn't excite them. The gold color did. Is everybody like, "Joe's got a Mustang"? Grandpa'd be like, "Yeah. So what? It's a car." My wife liked the color. "But Joe, what about that? What kind of engine you got?" It's got an engine. Turn the key, it starts. That's all I gotta know. Got a transmission, brakes. My wife liked the color. Okay. A lot of people didn't understand them, but yeah. They bought it for the color. I never argued with him. I already told you about the other Mustang. Had no idea what it was. It was lime green metallic. Grandma liked the color. That was all that mattered. And with that, I think that's all that matters for tonight's stream. Where's my clicker? I will chat with you all tomorrow. And remember, if you got any cliches, put them on my faceplant page. And I'll mention them the next time. The next time I do a cliche stream. And with